Most financial gurus peddle a compelling illusion. They tell you that true wealth begins at $1 million, or at the very least, a six-figure salary. But the elite understand that wealth isn't built at the summit. It's engineered at a specific, much lower threshold. There is an invisible barrier in personal finance. Cross it, and the fundamental rules of the game completely change. That barrier isn't $100,000. It is exactly $20,000. Think of wealth building like pushing a boulder up a mountain. Getting it started requires immense friction. But $20,000 is the precise turning point where your financial boulder finally crests the hill, and gravity starts working in your favor. Here is the detailed, practical breakdown of exactly why your life fundamentally transforms after hitting this milestone. The transformation at $20,000 isn't just mathematical. It is deeply psychological. When you have zero capital, your brain operates in what psychologists call survival mode. In this state, your mental bandwidth is entirely consumed by immediate threats. You accept subpar jobs, tolerate toxic situations, and make fear-based decisions because you are filtering every choice through scarcity. Research from Vanguard reveals that accumulating just $2,000 in emergency reserves boosts financial well-being by 21%. But when you scale that up to a fully funded 3 to 6 month runway, which for most people lands around $20,000, you gain an additional 13% psychological boost. You completely exit survival mode. You stop asking, "How do I survive until the next paycheck?" and finally have the cognitive bandwidth to ask, "How do I grow this capital?" Now, let's look at the raw mechanics of capital accumulation. The hardest money you will ever make is your first $20,000. If you save $1,000 a month and earn an 8% return, crossing that first finish line requires 19 months of relentless discipline and delayed gratification. But here is where the math shifts. Your second $20,000 doesn't take 19 months. It takes 17. You put in the exact same effort, but the timeline shrinks because your initial $20,000 is now generating its own returns alongside your monthly contributions. This velocity accelerates exponentially. By the time your portfolio hits $400,000, generating the next $20,000 takes a mere 5 months, happening entirely automatically. Furthermore, scale transforms your percentage wins. A 10% return on $2,000 is a modest $200, but a 10% return on $20,000 delivers $2,000. Your existing money begins working on your behalf, without you having to lift a finger. Perhaps the most potent tactical advantage of hitting this milestone is the leverage it injects into your career. When you live paycheck to paycheck, you negotiate from a position of absolute weakness. You can't demand a raise or push back against unreasonable demands because you are entirely dependent on your employer. $20,000 is walking away money. It grants you the ultimate elite advantage, the ability to quit tomorrow and survive for months while securing a superior position. When you negotiate from a position of strength rather than desperation, your entire demeanor shifts. You become more assertive, you pursue calculated risks, and ironically, this exact confidence often leads to rapid promotions, better assignments, and a higher income. You don't even have to spend the money, just knowing it's there acts as a secret superpower. Once you establish this financial foundation, your perspective on capital allocation completely evolves. Amateurs obsess over micro decisions, generic versus name brand groceries, or a $3 coffee. The elite realize that these micro expenses might alter a budget by a trivial $1,000 a year. Instead, you stop sweating the small stuff and begin filtering every major decision through the lens of opportunity cost. Take the ultimate wealth destroyer, the new car. Over a 40-year period, the average person incinerates $400,000 or more just getting from point A to point B. A brand new car loses 20% of its value the second it leaves the lot. With an elite mindset, you recognize that a $30,000 depreciating asset isn't just costing you $30,000. It's costing you the $200,000 that capital could have become if invested over 20 years. You prioritize macro decisions, housing, transportation, and investment strategies, because those are the levers that swing your net worth by tens of thousands of dollars. Ultimately, acquiring your first $20,000 is not a reward to be blown on a luxury vacation, a new car, or a flashy down payment. It is the fundamental seed of generational wealth. More importantly, it is an identity shift. You have proven to yourself that you can control capital rather than letting it control you. You are no longer reacting to life's emergencies. A broken laptop or a rent increase is now just a minor inconvenience. You have built the foundation. The blueprint is laid out. It is the difference between surviving and thriving, between reacting to life and intentionally designing it. If you want to continue mastering the mechanics behind true wealth building, hit subscribe. Let your money do the heavy lifting.